These very words have been ringing around my head since yesterday's result, and pretty much all of today while I've been at work, while I've been trying to think about how to sort of go about this video. So I'm kind of just I'm winging it a little bit. I haven't really got a plan of what I'm going to talk about. Obviously, I'm going to talk about little bits of the game as well. And obviously, disappointing result, 0-0 against Everton. But I think what a lot of people aren't doing is they're not actually giving Everton the credit they deserve. And as a Liverpool fan, I don't want to be giving Everton credit. And the last thing I want to be doing is giving Everton credit. But it's similar to when we played them at Anfield. They defended well, and it was a Jordan Pickford mistake that led to us winning 1-0. They were a tough team to break down then for us. They were a tough team to break down this time, and there was no mistake. So there was no 94th, 95th minute mistake for us to capitalise on. So it just looks like this season Everton came up against Liverpool and they managed to shut us down in most respects. They defended very well, they defended resolutely, and they applied pressure. There were moments in that game for extended periods of time where they had the possession over us. They were almost overrunning us at times. They were winning the midfield battle, especially after I don't understand why we took Gini Wijnaldum off, but they were winning the midfield battle there, which meant that they were controlling the space, controlling the possession, and they were having sharper touches of the ball, sharper passes, sharper attacking movements, especially when Richarlison came on. They looked sharper in certain periods of the game. First half, I would say, was Liverpool's. The second half was Everton's. It finished 0-0. So, what do we take from that? What do we do moving forward? Now, I'm going to quote or mention a couple of things that have obviously been seen since. Obviously, you've got your opposition fans that have been hoping. You see, this is another thing that I don't get as well. Opposition fans like your Arsenal fans, United fans, Chelsea fans, Tottenham fans, all that sort of business are really, really pulling for Man City to win the league. And that's absolutely fine, that's totally cool. If you've got nothing else to focus on and your club isn't in a title race, then you totally, absolutely feel free to support a team, whether it was us or if it's Man City, and if you want them to win the league. I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, I've never looked at a title race, and if we're not in it, and thought, I really want that team to win. I'd love it if Chelsea won it over Man City, or I'd love it if Man City won it over Man United last year. I don't care, because if I'm not in the title race, I don't really care who wins it. That's just how it is. So when we haven't been in title races in the past couple of seasons, or we've dropped away when we could have challenged, not asked who wins it. I'm focused on my team. But if you don't want to focus on your team, that is totally cool. That is entirely up to you. You do that. You call yourselves you're loyal fans of your clubs that some of them aren't even in the top 6. Sorry, some of them aren't even in the top 4. So you're looking at maybe 5th place and 6th place. They're also commenting on the fact that we're a point behind Man City now. Okay, that's totally fine. No worries. That's entirely up to you guys. You do you. Yeah, you do you. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to focus on Liverpool. Okay. I don't care who drops out of the top 4. I don't care who doesn't get top 6. The only thing I care about is where Liverpool are. And in most moments yesterday, we were okay. Second half, we were lacklustre. We lacked energy, we lacked creativity. But the first half we had plenty of chances to put away. A lot of people are putting Salah on blast for missing his chances. But at the end of the day, the type of chances that he was taking, especially obviously the one that Pickford saved, people are saying, he should have toe poked it through him on his near side, which is an improbable. It looks even more, if you were on paper and you were chosen to either take your left foot and sweep it to the left-hand side or to the right-hand side of the goalkeeper, or go to his near post and try and slot it through a gap there, you know what, maybe a couple of times out of 10, 1 or 2 times out of 10, that would work. But he went for the chance that he felt was gonna give him the best opportunity to score a goal, and it was saved. It happens. It's not for me, it's not like Salah's getting in front of goal and blasting it into row Z. It's like from 3 yards out. He's not doing that, in my opinion. He's getting in the right positions, and it's just not happening for him. I think the thing that really, really halted any progress we could make in that game yesterday was the substitutions. The subs were weird. It's the only word that I can come to mind. They were weird. All right, Firmino for Origi, can kind of understand it, but I didn't think Origi was having that bad a game. When we had Firmino on there, wasn't doing the usual link-up play that he does, and we were in a physical battle already, and then we took off a big physical forward in Origi and put on Firmino coming back from injury. So again, questions on that substitution there. Did it need to be made? Then I think we had Milner brought on for Gini Wijnaldum. Don't understand that one. I didn't see anything in that game where I was like, Gini Wijnaldum must come off. He's not having a good game. Anything like that. I felt that he was driving forward. He was doing okay in the midfield. We were having a midfield battle up until then. Once Wijnaldum went off, we were losing that midfield battle. Lallana for Mane would have to be my most questionable choice. Just purely, I can totally understand him maybe wanting to go for Lallana because Lallana in the past can be quite creative. But Lallana for Mane, weird. Again, it's weird. It's weird, right? Come on, it can't just be me. It's weird. I would much rather have a youth player on the bench than Lallana. I'm not sure that Lallana can contribute for us anymore. I don't see it. And then we had Naby Keita, Shaqiri, Sturridge on the bench as well, unused. Sturridge maybe less so, but Shaqiri and Keita, they could have been the creative link to spot those passes. That, all right, Henderson was playing some blinding balls in the first half. Walk out in the second half, non-existent. Nothing. So then you look at that and you think, right, Henderson, I'm going to have to bring you off. I'm going to bring on Naby Keita or Shaqiri, maybe change the formation a little bit. Didn't happen. Everything seemed a little bit too tentative, if you know what I mean. And he kicked off at a reporter for basically asking him something along the lines of not taking risks. I agree with the reporter. He mentioned something about we're not playing PlayStation, you can't just bring on attackers. But you can't just flood the team with midfielders either. We put on Milner, Lallana, and all right, Firmino went up front or wherever or in a roaming role. So essentially we had Fabinho, Milner, Adam Lallana on. Who else was on? Henderson was still on. 4 midfielders, technically, yeah. And then you got Salah, who remained on, and Firmino. So yeah, Firmino was on as well. So we essentially brought on and had on more midfielders than we had, and we were still losing the midfield battle. So what do? Change the system to the 4-2, goddamn 3-1, and get control of that midfield. This switch back to the 4-3-3, it will work against some teams, but it will not work against others. I firmly believe we should be going with the 4-2-3-1 permanently, because it has got us our best results. But I'm not a manager. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp is a fantastic manager, but the first time in a long time I question his substitutions and his changes to try and impact the game that we were drawing 0-0. And the changes that he made were to a detriment. We looked worse. We were playing worse. And in my opinion, we are lucky that we have Van Dijk, Matip in form, and Alisson in goal. Because without those guys, we would have lost that game. We would have lost the first time against Everton in 9 years. 18 Merseyside derbies, we would have lost that. Genuinely. Without the tower block in Van Dijk, you know, and Matip, who played very well as well. The back line in general played quite well, and Alisson in goal. Without those guys, we would not have been walking out of there with a draw. We would have been walking out of there with a loss. So now where does this put Liverpool? What do Liverpool need to do? We got Burnley at the weekend, I think. Now every game is must win. Alright, people are putting out, well, are Man City really going to get 27 wins from the next 9 games? If there's any team in the world that could win their next 9 games, regardless of opposition, regardless of injuries, it's Man City. So that is a stupid question for people to be asking. It really is. And this is now where me especially, I've always been focusing primarily on Liverpool, and that is now all we can focus on. Gary Neville's coming out saying the first thing that Liverpool should do, I'll say it, go out to Bayern Munich. You cannot suggest a professional football team and a professional football team manager, a club, purposely go out against Bayern Munich. Throw the match. You can't. Because what happens then? It's our best chance to go for the Premier League. Fair enough. I agree with you on that. And I have said it myself, that we would probably have been better going for the Premier League without the cup competitions in general. But then, what happens now? We could win our 9, Man City could win their 9, Man City win the title. The exact same scenario flipped that I was talking about a couple of days ago, when I said Liverpool could win all of our games now, Man City could win all of our games, and we would win the title. Role reversed. We are now the ones a point behind. We are the chasing pack. And if we drop out the Champions League and we don't win the Premier League title, what does that say? I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to leave it there. I'm trying... Hopefully this doesn't come across as massively negative, but it is my thoughts on a frustrating draw, one which leaves us now only a point behind Manchester City. Could they get all 27 points in the remaining games? Yeah. Yeah, they could. Absolutely, they could. And I know that I think they've got, Tottenham, and they've got Man United to play as well. Man City are a different animal. The best time for teams to play them now is now, when they've got a couple of injuries, quite a few injuries, and they're still squeaking out results, still getting 1-0 wins here and there. They're still keeping the fight up. We are almost at full strength, and we couldn't beat Everton. Let that sink in. I'm out of here. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll catch you later.